and enjoy my dinner. Hi everybody. I'll fix the camera here in a moment, or at least my angle. Let's do it kind of like that. There we go. That's better. So yeah. Anyways, how's it going? To all the people in the future that are watching this, because there's nobody watching it at the moment. I never ever prompt my lives. Ever. But I've only prompted, I think, 2 lives. That's it. So, people show up. That's on their own prerogative. It would be nice, but, you know, I understand. People are busy. It's a Monday evening, so it's, what, 6, coming up on 6:30 now? But hi. And we have a viewer already. Cool. Yeah, so I'm here. Very cold outside. Very cold. Not a fan of it. I don't like me cold. There we go. And just do it like... Am I doing this? Without knocking it over? Yeah, so yeah. Anyways, how's it going? I don't know who's here. But, hopefully you're one of the talkers. If not, no worries. What was that notification? Sorry. Oh, it was Pokemon notification. I don't care about that. Figured if it was a email or something like that, I'd, you know, because around this time of year, I usually get quite a bit of emails because it's Christmas. But yeah, Merry almost Christmas. I mean, it's what, a couple weeks out now, so getting pretty close. You know, it is a nice time of year, like when it comes to, you know, seeing family and stuff like that, and people's giving and whatnot. Because I got a gift the other day, actually, which was nice, from one of my subscribers. And, yeah, after I mentioned that my camera sort of equipment, being that the tripod mount, like, not the tripod itself, it's just this crappy little mount that I had, it broke. I might still be able to use it, because I think I fixed it, kind of. It's not great, but it'll work. It's hopefully work. But, you know, the car is running decent. Not amazing, but, you know, we'll get to that a little later on, I'm sure. Okay, move that out of my way. A little bit. There we go, so I can still hear it, kind of. Yeah, sorry, my brain is just going all over the place, and my viewer left. I'm very sorry about that. That's okay. Yeah, these lives, like, for people watching this in the future, obviously, and especially those of you that, like, know my channel, know that I never have guests on here, although I am planning on doing that in the future, but right now, I haven't set that up yet. But I would like to in the future, because who knows, maybe, depending on circumstances, everything like that, I will set up for guests in the future. But, you know, this is kind of like more of a automotive podcast type idea. You know, I talk to the chat and everything like that. Although I do want to give shout outs actually to a few different people. First up is one of the biggest people that have, like, helped me out with my car, and we've collabed on a couple of videos together. It's really been amazing. Is Roy Marco from Roy Marco's Garage here on YouTube. If you want to go check him out, I definitely encourage you to do so. He just came up this last weekend and helped me with my car. I was having some carb issues and it was really bad. Like, wasn't hard to fix, and I knew it wasn't going to be, but he actually gave me bad advice over the phone with this one spring and stuff like that. But I didn't properly seat the needle, and my fluid setting was way off, and that's why I was flooding the carb so bad. But you know, and the needle though isn't like fully sealed, but it's seated. It's just not a very good needle, I think. So, whatever. But it still works. Car still runs. It's definitely not ideal, but at least I have a running driving car again. But yeah, so he's the first one I want to shout out. Next person I want to shout out is actually Teen Mechanic here on YouTube. Fantastic kid. He's only 15 years old. He has a very fantastic channel. He's got, a Ford LTD from 1982. He's got a 72, I think it's 72 Eldorado. He's also got, actually, those are his two vehicles at the moment. He's looking to potentially trade that LTD to me for one of the vehicles I have, so we'll see. If that comes to fruition or not. Let's see, what else is there? Then as well, I do want to shout out Turlo's Garage here on YouTube as well. Great guy, great channel. Honestly, he's helped me out a bit in the past. Not so much like with my car and stuff, but with supports and stuff like that, it's been great with him. As well, there's a small channel actually here in Alberta as well called Mongrel's Garage. I've met him only once. Fantastic guy, to be honest, and this next summer I would love to go down there to where he is, and he's in Vulcan County, so I know the area. And I do actually want to film his collection of cars too, because he has quite a few. He does more of a kind of almost a redneck style with a lot of his vehicles, but it's cool. Like, he says, don't replicate what you see in these videos because it might cause bodily harm at times. Something like that for his openings is pretty funny. His stuff is not like that dangerous or anything like that, but it can be. Like, he had a big fireball from an LS that he fired up one time. Oh, what's this? Okay, I don't care about that. That was an email, but not an email I care about, so. Let's see. As well, another channel I'd love to shout out is Novotaz here on YouTube. He does an automotive podcast every Saturday or Sunday. No. Yeah, Sunday, sorry, not Saturday. At 7 o'clock. Well, 7 o'clock my time, so 9 o'clock Eastern. And, it takes a bunch of different turns at times, depending on what's going on. We talk about old cars, we talk about newer cars, we talk about what's going on in the automotive world and stuff like that. And it's honestly a great time. And, if you're interested, go check it out. I've been in quite a few. This year alone, I actually, because something that he does in the chat, he has these little mini games where at the end of the year you tally up the points and he'll give away some stuff like some merch for his channel and stuff like that. And I'm actually in first by a wide margin because I've been in the bulk of his live streams this year. I've only missed, out of the entire year, I think I've missed maybe 10. So, maybe, and even if that, it might even be less than that. Oh, cool. I'm trying to think that there's... Oh, yeah, and also, there's another channel as well. He's harder to find. His channel's called Old School. You'll see him sometimes, like a lot of times on my live streams, he's in here and he's in the comments and commenting away. He is one of my biggest supporters here, and, he's a great guy. He's helped me out a little bit too, and he sent me some stuff for the Civic. Which, whenever we can get around to that freaking thing, it's just... I do want to get it back here, but the problem is it's just so damn cold. Now that it makes it difficult to work on the car. Look, I'd have to wait for the weather to get nicer again. Hey, speaking of Old School, there he is. How's it hanging? Always appreciate your presence in the live streams. It's a quiet night so far here. I was up to 4 viewers at one point, but they have gone away. So I've been mostly talking to one person that has not been typing, so which is fine. Yeah, I was giving you a bit of a shout out. Just because you've been one of my biggest supporters here on YouTube. You've helped me out quite a bit, and also just being there in the live streams and stuff like that, watching just about every single one of my videos. So just it's that time of year. Towards the end of the year. Obviously, I didn't get to do this last year because I couldn't stream live stream last year. And hey, no worries. And yeah, I shouted out a few other channels as well. And what's cool about Old School's channel, he because he'll find vehicles that he thinks is cool around the Toronto area, and yeah, he just films them. His videos aren't as detailed as mine when it comes to his walkarounds of vehicles, but it's still pretty neat. And the stuff he finds is really cool too. Because he's a big collector of stuff, and old tins and stuff like that, and whatever else he can find really is old. And he's always posting videos and of stuff that he has found, so it's pretty cool. Yeah, so how's it going in your world there? Anything new and exciting going on with you, or just same old, same old? Well, yeah, I mean, I can understand that to a certain degree. It's the area, and also you're so close. Because the thing is, Toronto is one of the most expensive places to live in the country. I think it's in third for the entire country. It's either second or third. So unfortunately, you'll get that kind of mentality that way, right? But then as well, the climate that you guys have is a lot worse than even here in Alberta. Yeah. It's just one of those deals. I don't mind the latest and greatest, but I do obviously I prefer my classics, but there are new cars that I like too. Something I doubt I'll win, but there's a chance. Is and what's funny because I actually got contacted by the dealership today, just to confirm stuff. And basically, so what happened was I entered this giveaway to win. It's a $70,000 voucher to go buy a new car at Chrysler. I'm like, that'd be cool. To be honest, I probably wouldn't spend the 70 grand. I wouldn't buy a Hellcat or anything like that, even though that'd be fun. I couldn't afford it. I couldn't afford the tires because I'd be burning through tires like crazy, and also I couldn't afford the gas and probably the insurance on it. So, but something that I was thinking of is just what would be cool, and something that would be practical for me. Hey, Rashawn. Yeah, happy holidays. Definitely appreciate you coming on the live stream. Because yeah, actually, but if I do happen to win this giveaway, like I said, I doubt I'll win it, but you never know. Is if I do, I would love to get a Challenger all-wheel drive. I think would be the most fun sort of choice for me that wouldn't cost too much. But But yeah, well, you know, I just thought that would be neat. Because I have a sneaking suspicion they're not going to find me something classic that I'd really like. So. I mean, that'd be nice, but I could actually use a daily driver that's reliable, though. Not saying the Stitch isn't. But the thing is, wintertime reliability, though, compared to overall reliability, it's just rough. Yeah, it not canceled, postponed. There's been 3 games currently postponed because of 6 players that are now and 1 member of staff that has been put into COVID protocols, which I don't know if they tested positive or if they just came in close contact. Hard to say. So, because they haven't released that yet. That's not how that works. Possibly. Hard to say, really, but and yeah, like nothing really new with my car or anything like that at the moment that wasn't already detailed in the last video. Although I will say, like, it's still running too lean, but like, it's only running too lean if I give it too much throttle. So. See, and I don't quite as much. Like, I'm not as diligent as most people when it comes to that, but I have a really good immune system compared to most people. Like, before COVID and everything, I didn't get sick for probably 3 or 4 years. And it's just very, very rare for me to get sick. Let's put that over there. But yeah, but you know, I always do my part though when it comes to wearing masks and stuff like that. I don't have a problem with that. As much as at times I can't breathe in them, but not lately. Like I've been in a few crowds since COVID started, like a couple of bigger car shows, and like a grand total of maybe about 5 times. But they've all been outdoor stuff, excluding the Flames game, if you consider that as a large crowd, which it is. But yeah, like the crowds.
Excommunicado. In effect, 10 minutes.
Yeah, again, not much for crowds though. Like, plus also, I mean, where I live too. Now, I haven't been avoiding restaurants or necessarily big box stores, but it's like I'm not exactly going to Costco, for example. I've been to Costco I think once since the pandemic started, and um been to like Walmart and stuff like that. But the Walmart out in Olds is not really that massive. But and I have my vaccinations and stuff like that, and if they call on me for Canadian Tire, yeah, it's out in Olds, but yeah, they're like the thing is anything big box retail wise, I have to go to Olds, which is about a 40-kilometer trip, so I don't do that too often.
Excommunicado. In effect, 1 minute.
But yeah.
John Wick. Excommunicado. In effect, in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Yeah, see, and now the vaccine doesn't guarantee that you won't, but it helps a lot though with it. So there's that.
John Wick, 14 million. Open contract is now in effect. All services are suspended.
And that's very sad though. Like, when anybody dies, especially like a COVID now too, it's and the thing is, and it mutates all the time. And we have so many different variants. People joke about it, and there's all these conspiracy theorists on it and whatever else. But it is a real thing, and with any disease, it does mutate. There's always different variants of it, and that's just how it works. I mean, my immune system's great. It has been for a long time. My health isn't amazing, but my immune system is good. So there's that, right? And I don't have to worry as much about that.
On the right. Take 4. Give you energy up to the pain. Mr. Wick?
Yeah. I mean, I am young, but I've always been this way. Even when I was really young, like when I was an infant, I really rarely ever got sick. I don't know. We haven't talked as much recently, and it's not like we had a falling out or anything. Just haven't really chatted. But I don't know.
Where? Here. Just below my floating rib. Be sure not to hit my... Oh, wait. 1 may not be enough. Yeah. All right. Be sure not to graze my clit.
I have no idea. Like, I remember, I don't prompt my lives either. I don't tell anybody that I'm gonna go live, so there's that. Like, people do have lives and everything like that too. I don't expect everybody to jump into my live streams whenever I do them. You know, so that's fine. I was just mainly just doing this, to chat a little bit, but then also like get my watch time hours up too. So it'd be nice if more people jumped in and just watched. But because yeah, my all that stuff is dipping right now pretty bad because I haven't had much content come out lately. I've had 2 videos come out in the past like 2 weeks, so which is not good for me actually. That's pretty low. Oh, yeah, he is. Fantastic kid. And knows his stuff. Like, I swear, at times he knows more than I do. Depending on what it is, he knows more than I do. You know, what's cool, and like, because in his mechanics class, he's working on a Ford 1.6 turbo. Neat little engines, and, he's been doing a couple of YouTube shorts on it, and we're showing like, okay, why do these blow head gaskets? And he went into a deep explanation as to why, and it's pretty neat. You know, and just the stuff that he knows. I mean, I know a bunch of random crap like that too, but that's fair. I mean, I like both. Like, if I had the money, yeah, my car would just be straight up naturally aspirated and, make the 260, 270 that I wanted to make. But that costs a lot of money. Yeah, there we go. Now we're getting some more viewers. A few more, anyways. Well, sure you can. Depending on the vehicle. Like, because you'll definitely feel it be faster after that point. I can almost guarantee that. Like, yeah, I've never done, like, other than with my car, because the mods I've done to my car, you can feel a difference, but it's not, it is drastic, but it's not like, most people would still say, like, my car's slow, which it definitely is. Especially right now, like, yeah, because I can't actually go full throttle at the moment. Because otherwise it runs too lean and stalls out. But, that's fine. That'll be fixed. I don't know. We'll see exactly when. Because, yeah, I still don't have the Jimmy yet. Still waiting on that deal. So Stitch is still my daily at the moment. I was hoping to have the Jimmy this past weekend, but that didn't happen. So, like, I wanted to pick it up on Saturday. But that was a no-go. So that's fine. Annoying, but fine. Yeah, also, if you're wondering, I'm watching a John Wick 3 Parabellum at the moment. It's on TV, and I really love these movies. So, like, I think for film series, I think it's my favorite. But are these? Well, that's because it's a 10-year-old belt. Like, the thing is, though, and I'm not sure, I'm assuming you have, but look closely to see if there's any dry rot in that belt. Because new old stock, when it comes to belts, hoses, or, oh, wait. What am I?
Easy. Virgin River. Search for shows with just your voice across live TV and all streaming apps. Hey, you see your glasses?
Oh! Okay, I get that now. Weird. That's weird. And because usually the aftermarket when it comes to that sort of stuff is cheaper, but because I've never come across anything from a dealership that's actually more expensive or that's cheaper, ever. Possibly. I mean, I wouldn't be shocked if dealers are a little more overstocked, especially during COVID, as opposed to the aftermarket stuff, because everybody was ordering online and stuff like that and not going through dealers, so they may have cut prices down. But as soon as that's over, it'll go back up, I'm sure. No. Still nothing. It's still sitting out there. My dad was supposed to talk to Buddy there, but never did. So, yeah, I should see about going in there like this week. Because I talked to him once before, but that was only at like the 2 or 3 week mark, so, you know, now it's been almost 2 months. Actually, it's been 2 months now. It was October 13th. Yeah. Yeah, it's still outside. Trust me, it hasn't moved. Still covered in a bunch of snow from when it snowed a couple weeks back. Like, the thing is, and with it, you know, parked outside, like, I wish it was inside being worked on, but it doesn't bother me that it's outside, because it's not like it'd be inside here at home. It'd be outside anyways, right? So. That's not an easy proposition on that car. because I would need to grab my dad's keys. That's not an easy thing to do with that car. It's really not. Because the problem is, it's not running off its own fuel system, so I have to physically dump fuel down the carburetor for it to run. Because last time I started that was... I don't know, whenever I did the Mazda Speed 3 video. That was when I did that. Last started it, so... And it wasn't ran for long.
Open contract increase 15 million.
Where are you going, Jonathan?
Well... Yeah. Like, cause the fuel pump needs to be wired in because, again, you know, went to an electronic fuel pump, so that needs to be wired in properly. And the fuel tank should be drained properly and everything like that. Like, it was absolutely empty when I went at it, but you know, we put in when we did that the first start in 26 years video, which was May, I want to say. I put in about 5 liters into the tank, and then that's it. So.
How would you?
Yeah, I mean, I didn't smell anything bad in the tank. Like, it didn't actually smell like anything. Like, even... Because actually, rust has a certain smell to it, too, and I didn't smell that. There was no varnish in the tank, either, so that was nice. You know? Oh, hey, I really appreciate that, MHA. Thank you so much. Yeah, I am happy that I've been able to help out with my videos with that, with you. Like, not all of my stuff is technical, but, you know, if you're able to maintain some of the technical stuff I've done, that is incredible, and really does make me smile, but, you know, and just makes me happy. Because, yeah, it means that I'm making a difference, right? And that people are paying attention. And it's just wonderful. So, I really do appreciate that. And oil for the Civic? It probably is 5W30.
You present this to me like an answer.
I still have my ticket.
After all the chaos you've caused for the last few weeks, you think your ticket is valid? You forget that the Ruska Roma is bound by the high table.
But,
The high table stands above all.
yeah, because actually, the oil still hasn't been changed in that car yet. I have a filter. I need to pick up oil, but really can't afford that at the moment. Like, I just spent all my money, basically, at the moment, on fuel for my car, because it was just about empty. And then, of course, I bought food as well, but, like, I have about $80 in my overdraft to last me the rest of the month, so. But, if I can put in a couple more videos, end of next month, not this month, but next month, I should get another paycheck from YouTube, so that'll be nice. But because yeah, I don't really need to make much to be able to get paid again. But it's monthly thing, right? So oh, I don't put cheap oil in my cars. That is gonna go with Napa oil and be done, because yeah, running a cheap oil in your car, there's a reason why it's cheap, and it's not worth it, to be honest. Hey, I haven't seen you in a while. How's it going there? I don't even know how to say your name. ST Mikey? Is that how you say that? Milky? I don't know.
Life is suffering. suffering.
But yeah, I haven't seen you in quite a while. Definitely appreciate you coming on the live stream.
Somehow you managed to get out. But here
Yeah, see,
you are,
I don't-
back where you began.
I don't cheap out on stuff. I really don't.
This for what? Is it
Like my car with the timing chain. I could have went on Rock Auto, picked up a timing chain for about $40. But instead, I got a double roller set. And it cost me like $220. So, much better. Oh, okay, St. Louis Mike. Okay. Cool. Yeah, because I used to see you in a few of my comments and stuff like that. I'm not sure if... I can't recall if I remember seeing you in one of the live streams, and I apologize if you have been. I just, again, don't remember as much for that. But, yeah. Definitely appreciate you coming out, though. How's it going? Oh, see me.
Even if I wanted to, I can't help you, Jadar. The high table wants your life. How can you fight the wind? How can you smash the mountains? How can you bury the ocean? How can you escape from your light? Of course, you can go to the dark, but they're in the dark too.
There we go.
So tell me, Jadar, what do you really want?
Yeah, that's all my food now.
Where did you want to go?
Casablanca.
The path to paradise begins in hell. So be it. Hand me your ticket. I will tear it. If that's what you really desire.
Nice. Yeah, that's fun. Well, I definitely appreciate you listening to my soothing voice and words. Again, old school, I just don't cheap out on oil. Like, although I am, next time I change the oil in my car, it's not gonna be synthetic though, because synthetic causes leaks. So I am gonna go back to conventional oil, but it's just gonna be Napa. And to be honest, to get these other brands that you're talking about too, actually will, in the end, cost me more because I have to travel 80 kilometers round trip to go get them. Napa I can get here in town, and it's not expensive. So, not that expensive to be honest. You can usually find it on sale too. And my live streams, to be honest, they're sporadic. Sometimes I'll do a bunch of live streams in one week. Other times, it'll be, once every couple of weeks. It just depends. I never really prompt my lives though. It's just I go live at random times. Just because it's, I usually do it when I'm bored. And they are just like this. It's just me, the camera set up here. You'll see my cat photobombing all the time. Okay, what did that accomplish to you, buddy? My cat just did an entire 360 on me, just turning around. It's like, what was the point of that? Any Saber? But yeah, because yeah, to be honest, I'll probably end up live streaming a little more. Because as well, I need to keep up my my watch time hours here on YouTube, because content is slowing down due to the time of year. And yeah, like. What, Saber? Nah, he's no bear. He may be fat, but he's not. He ain't that big. Hey, Saber? Enjoying yourself down there? Yeah, he's a very old cat, too. Like, he's about 20 years old. And, yeah. He's still very healthy, though. Like, he does have some issues. Mostly, like, has issues with his joints. Probably has some sort of arthritis, some form of it. It wouldn't shock me. And, he's had to have a couple of teeth pulled. Other than that, but a very healthy cat.
melty mozzarella. Because of him,
He'd actually cost less in medical bills than our 13-year-old cat. So,
way better.
'cause, yeah, we don't have young cats here. They're old. But take care of a cat and they'll last. So, when you buy them all the cheap, horrible foods, yeah, they won't be as healthy. Just like humans. Huh. Man, actually, I want to check. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. That's sad. Cause yeah, it's always sad when animals pass. Yes, 100. Yeah, I'm sorry. I was just rereading your comment from before what you were working on, and 79 F100. That's one of my favorite trucks, actually. Is those specific years, that 78, 79 F Series pickup. That front end, I think, was the best front end they ever put on those trucks. And besides special edition trucks, for a base truck, I would say that is the like besides special edition trucks, I think that was the best looking truck, bar none. And oh, you mean like other pets and stuff? No, I only have these two boys. I've had other animals in the past, but Saber has been with me since he was 1 year old. So he's now 20, and I'm only 25. So like at 6 years old, got him right, and yeah, he's been my best friend. Okay, so you got a parasitic draw. Okay, well that could be a number of things, to be honest. Yeah, because and that's the thing, and electrical isn't my strong suit. But what I will say is check all of your fuses. Like if you have a tester light or like an electric tester, check all of your fuses for that and see when it's off and there isn't a key in it. And when the door is not open, is there any power going to those? If so, then at least it narrows down your search of, okay, where to look for one. And like, and even something as simple as a piece, like a tiny piece of metal as well, even within a cigarette lighter, can actually drain your battery too. That way. And of course, like the standard lights and whatever else can as well, but at the same time, though, too, is it a parasitic draw or is it your battery? Only reason why I say that is because if your battery is old enough and it's, just old and it like gets cold, for example, it might just crap out, and you have to charge it up every once in a while. Have you looked into the battery itself and gotten it tested and everything? Okay, battery is new. Okay. How are the connections for the battery looking as well? And something that you can do, honestly, just take a tester light and just go to every single connection under the hood when the battery is out. I will take a charge. Okay. But does it maintain a charge if it's outside of the vehicle? Too. Because sometimes even brand new batteries can be defective too. At times. Not all the time, but sometimes.
Mr. Wick broke the rules.
Oh, yes. And I haven't got the slightest idea what
You're
it is.
mistaken. I'm not here for Mr. Wick. I'm here because Mr. Wick broke the rules in this hotel. The blood was spilled on the grounds of the Continental, was it not?
Oh, yes. As a matter of fact, the body gets colder within these very walls.
I'd like to see it.
Yeah, I mean, basically, just take a tester light though, if you have one, or just a voltage tester in general, and just test every single connection you have, like under your hood, within the fuse panel, and stuff like that, with the key out, and see if there's a draw. Okay. Hey, Jonathan, how's it hanging? Definitely appreciate you coming out to live stream.
With a 45 ACP, it appears.
I have no control over Mr. Wick's actions.
And yet he lives because you deemed it so, yes?
Yes.
You've known Mr. Wick for a great many years. It might even be fair to call you friends, yes? Instead of stopping him, instead of killing him, you stood by and let him walk away after he shot Stan.
Hey, no worries, old school. Definitely appreciate you coming out, as always. And, yeah. We'll see if I'm still on when you come back or not. So, yeah. Okay, Mark. Yeah, so, yeah, just do that and go from there. See if you have anything, and then if not, then that's when it gets challenging, because once you test connections without the key in the ignition, that's when it gets tough. And obviously, when you're testing too, like for example, you will get, if your door's open or whatever, you will have the dome light, for example, but that's the only other thing that you would have for light-wise. Like for any sort of, not necessarily drain, but like, it'll give you a false reading if you have the door open and you test the fuse for that and, lights are on, right? So.
Enjoy your stay at the Continental. There's an adjudicator here to see it.
And actually, I'm going to recline.
Welcome! I'm Mission Control. Brainstem of my operation. The information super flyway. When
There we go.
control the word on the street. Way of the world.
With pigeon.
Yes, you see rats with wings. But I see the internet. No IP addresses. No digital footprint. Can't track it. Can't hack it. Can't trace it.
But,
Can you get disease from it?
Well, I wouldn't recommend it you eat.
yeah, I'm trying to think, like, because, yeah,
I wanted to see
so there we go.
Where what didn't happen?
where you didn't kill John Wick.
Always been under the impression that contracts and
It's possible.
executing them was optional. I have no problem with John Wick.
Definitely possible.
You gave John a 7-round Kimber 1911, knowing that he intended to use it to stand against the table, yes? This Kimber 1911, to be exact.
Ooh.
You gave John Wick 7 bullets. The high table is giving you 7 days
7 days for what exactly?
to settle your affairs and find a new home for your birds. In 7 days, you abdicate your throne.
Oh my dear. Tell me, do you know what the Bowery is, adjudicator? Do you know what happens when I leave my
Yeah, oh yeah. It's technically my only car. Like, there is the Civic as well, but it's not. Civic isn't even here, so. And yeah, I do have the Lumina technically as well, but the Lumina is. I'm selling it, not touching it anymore.
The Bowery is mine.
But I haven't done a lot of work to that car.
Do not make the mistake of thinking you exist outside the rules.
But yeah, and, I'm always working on Stitch. Although right now, not gonna do any work to Stitch for quite a while. Just due to the fact that, like, right now she's running Everything's okay. It's not running great, but that's also this time of year too. It's getting woeful gas mileage because, well, it's cold. And yeah, although there is one thing that I might do to it, because I think it needs it. My thermostat, I think, sticks open, so I might have to replace the thermostat, but that's not hard, to be honest. That thermostat is 2 years old. Because I'm just noticing it when I'm driving around, and yeah, like the car isn't really staying at the temperature that it should, so. Oh, nice. And to be honest, that group is fantastic. For any questions like that too, technical stuff, they were really good. And yeah, and I haven't really had any issues with the members in there too, so everybody has been quite helpful. Yeah, man. Hey, that's good though. Yeah, and those old 302s too. They'll just keep on plugging away, and they're fantastic. Have you done any performance upgrades to it, or is it just stock?
But he's excommunicado. It seems the manager has granted him amnesty. Mr. Jonathan, would you be so kind as to come with me?
Because yeah, like, and I was at one point going to swap a 302 into Stitch, but
Mr. Rich.
that's not happening. I'm keeping the inline 6 now and building it out. It'll be such a really fun car when I'm done, but we'll see what happens. Like, because yeah, it'll be a while. Although this next year, like, I do want to do Miles of Mayhem, which is essentially drag week but no prep. Like no prep drag week here in Alberta, and there's actually one track in Saskatchewan, and it's a week long. There's 5 different tracks. Well, I think it's actually 4 tracks, but 5 days. However, or 5 different races, I should say, 4 tracks. So there's not that many tracks here in Alberta, sadly. So I'd love to do that. It'd be really fun to film it for this as well. And like my dad is worried about that it would break. I'm going. To be honest, I wouldn't be doing like super fast runs either. So. Wait. What do you mean by new dual carb? I'm because what you just said with the 4-barrel intake and new dual carb, do you mean like a double pumper, or what are you referring to on that? Only because when I see that, it's just like, that's technically incorrect what you just said. I'm assuming you mean you don't have the 4-barrel carb with it. Or does it happen to be a dual 4-barrel intake? Because if so, that's way too much for your car. I can tell you that, or your truck. I can tell you that right off the bat. But ow, that kind of hurt when going down. Okay. No worries. That's why I was just clarifying, just to make sure, like, did you mean to say that, or were you trying to say something else? So, and trust me, I do it too, so you're not the only one. But yeah, so, okay. And for your truck, so being absolutely stock, but you're going to put a 4-barrel on it, I'm assuming, have you already ordered the carb, or are you looking to order a carburetor? I hate these damn commercials. These ASPCA. So depressing. Um, because yeah, like for that engine, to, I mean, well, first I'll wait for you to answer if you have a carb coming or not. Because a 4-barrel upgrade, definitely worth it. It'll increase your power quite a bit. Okay, so you haven't ordered one yet. So a carburetor for that, I'd probably look at a Holley 600 CFM carburetor. That should be more than efficient. Maybe a 650, but double pumper, you don't need that. And any bigger than that would be too much carburation for that engine with the amount of power you're making. Plus, also like with stock heads and everything, it's gonna be a little restrictive. So, but something to consider down the road is if you decide, hey, oh, okay, cool. Yeah, like that 4-barrel upgrade will probably gain you an extra 15-ish horsepower. Like 10 to 15, somewhere in there, which would be a great upgrade for that car. But something to consider in the future, you can stick with your stock heads if you want to. But I was actually going to suggest is if you want the maximum potential out of your car without spending a lot of money is okay, yeah. Get the 600 CFM carburetor, do that 4-barrel like I meant, like you were going to do, and then as well as go find, you don't have to go new, you can go used if you want to, some GT40 heads from an Explorer 5-liter, or even Fox bodies as well had them, like the later Fox bodies. Basically, any later 5-liter heads, take those, because you can pick them up from a junkyard for like $100, or even less depending on the junkyard, and it'll increase your your engine will be so much more efficient, and there's much higher flowing. They're a cheap upgrade, and they're just amazing overall, and you'd probably gain a good 40-50 horsepower out of the deal because you're actually increasing your compression by quite a bit putting those heads on. So basically you'd be looking at I'm trying to think when they started. I'd have to look it up. Basically, yeah, like 88, 89 and upward 5-liter heads. And again, like if you find for example, a Ford Explorer, because they're usually the easiest to find with the 5-liters, because they made them the longest with those heads. And take the heads off of that. Oh yeah, they're fantastic heads, to be honest. Because like the compression that your truck has, it's gonna be a little lower compression, being that it's an F100, not an F150, so it doesn't have the higher compression. Because at that point it needed to go with some emissions standard stuff at the time. Yeah, Explorers are 90s, but 90s and even early 2000s with the again, basically any Explorer with a 5-liter in it that you find for the heads, or you can even just find somebody that's already pulled the heads off, because there's a lot of people out there that have those lying around, and they're not that expensive. Like that's why I'm suggesting it. So, yeah. Like I said, it'll increase your compression by quite a bit, and by doing that, it'll increase your horsepower by quite a bit. And it's kind of a stock upgrade thing, but it's much better than because the heads you have right now, the ports aren't very big on them, and the valves aren't that big either. They're very, very restrictive. Like you might have like 8.5, 8-to-1 compression, something like that. Oh yeah. You can run your stock cam if you want to. Although upgrading the cam too, that's always a great thing. Like you could go with a probably a what is that cam called? E303. If you wanted to upgrade the cam, you could go with one of those. Like from Comp Cams. I believe it's the E303. They're a nice stock replacement cam. That would be nice too, but like you don't have to, you know, and like you don't have to do the heads either. It's if you want to, right? Like what I would do is see if you're satisfied at first. Get the 4-barrel on it. You know, get that intake, get the carb set up, everything like that. And then see if you like it. You know, and if you want a little more power, okay, then you can do the heads. And then at that point, after that, you could do the cam, right? And that sort of thing, right? Because, yeah, all worthwhile upgrades. Like, not necessarily, but worthwhile. You know, something else too, like exhaust, because everybody overlooks exhaust. But, like, stock manifolds are very restrictive. Like, if you went with a header, preferably long tube, but shorties are fine too. Yeah, so. If you're driving it in the wintertime, it's not a bad idea to do that. Definitely not a bad idea. And I just saw a comment. Well, thank you, Mr. Robot. That's a funny name. I'm not gonna lie. Thank you. Appreciate that. As long as you don't go really creepy with it, Mr. Roboto, we're fine. You know, if you can throw out compliments like that, and I'm cool with it. But you ask for anything weird, you're gone immediately. That's all I'm gonna say, and that is your only warning. So, because I always have to do that, just in case for people, because there are weirdos out there. Oh, so what? Okay, what would you need the sandbags for then? Are you just thinking for traction? Like, what? What would you be doing that you'd need sandbags? Then, because I'm curious. Oh, hey, Derek. How's it hanging? Definitely appreciate you coming out to the live stream. And actually, I think, yeah, you're one of the people that came from Roy Marco's channel off his last video, if I'm not mistaken. So I definitely appreciate you coming out. Ah, okay. I see what you mean. Oh, there you go. Cool. Yeah, you can go with a Ford Racing Cam too, but yeah, either one would be fantastic to be honest. And like, and that's a great cam too. Most people just go with the comp cams because they're a little cheaper than the Ford Racing, but they're still a fantastic cam. And gears definitely help out too. Yeah, let's see. So, you see, and now, okay, so it's slick in the rear. Yeah, I mean, you're gonna come across that, especially if it happens to be a short bed too. There's less weight along the back. You could put sandbags on the back. You could also just get better tires too. Because I bet you anything, if you get some nice quality tires that are designed for that, you'd be okay. Because people will overlook tires and they'll just think, oh, just put weight in the back. Well, the better tires you have, the more grip you're going to have when it comes to those conditions, right? Because, you know, I'm used to snow and stuff like that up here. So, like, I have 2 sets of wheels, right? I have my Steelies for winter with my winter tires, and then I have my summer tires on. They're cheaper tires, but they're okay. I don't. The brand on them I'd never heard of until I got them, but they were cheap enough and they were brand new, so I did it. But in the future, who knows? Maybe I'll keep those around. Maybe I won't. We'll see. I love those rims that I have. Those Keystone Black Stars, just. But you know, and the thing is, with gearing though, because the thing is, gearing only is going to help you when it comes to your either top end or acceleration, right? It's not exactly going to help you out when it comes to your traction or anything like that. It just increases acceleration or top speed depending on what your gearing is. And your truck probably is going to have like 323s or 355s most likely. Might be a 273, but I doubt it. And yeah, like I wouldn't. You can decode if it still has the tag on the diff, you can decode it. There's decoders online that'll tell you what it is.
Save 40% on your first auto ship order at Chewy.
How wide of tires do you have on it? Yeah, I figured it was raining. But how wide are your tires? 2. Because popular misconception when it comes to tires is actually like, okay, when you're racing, yeah, wider is better. Obviously, you get a better contact patch. But oof, that's rough. Yeah, that's exactly what happened to him, Harvey. Because he's having issues with his truck when it comes to because it rains a lot where he is, so you know, and he's thinking of putting sandbags in the back, which is not a bad idea, but at the same time, you could as well just, you know, get quality tires, or because if they're too wide, that's not actually better when it comes to conditions like that. That's actually worse. It's kind of a misnomer that way. For racing, yeah, wide tires are great, but for daily driving, wide tires are freaking horrible. So, like that. That's why. Oh yeah, exactly. I mean, it can, like, and the thing is, yeah, because there's so many people that think like, hey, you go really wide on your tires, you're gonna have the best contact patch, and it'll never spin out or anything like that. But yeah, and that's why cheaping out on tires is never the way to go. Now don't get me wrong, I cheaped out on my tires, but honestly, those tires have fantastic grip, so I actually like them. Yeah, well, it just depends on the compound of the tire and the tread of what they have and all that different stuff, right? Like, okay, 7 pounds of boost with a turbo on a Fox body. I'm assuming that's a 5-liter car, which would put that probably in the neighborhood of around 310 horsepower, something like that, which would be really fun actually. Depending on what other mods he's done, it might be closer to 400 or 500. Again, depending on supporting mods. But yeah, turbos are always fun in a car. They just are. Like, and actually, because you might be looking at this and going, "Hey, turbo," because it is a turbo, sitting right next to me. This is, you know, uh, I mean, they can be. The Super Swampers, they'll give you quite a bit of grip. I'm not gonna lie, especially when it's wet out. Oh yeah, it'll do that. Like, the thing is, my Mustang. Ah, shoot. Trying to get rid of that notification. There we go. So my Mustang, again, 81 Mustang, inline six. Ooh, yeah, you have really wide tires on your car. So, and depending on what the tire compound is and all that different stuff, that could definitely contribute to your hydroplaning. Because like my car, when it's raining like heavy, very heavy, it can hydroplane pretty bad, even with the really skinny tires that I have. Because like in the summertime, I have 205 70 14s. Right, they're not very wide. And they give me all the grip in the world though when I need them. And because my car doesn't make a lot of power, so it's not like I need a super wide tire on it. But yeah. And the thing is, like during the summertime, because actually I have a video on that on here on the channel of me driving through this massive storm, and this is when it kind of tapered off a little bit, but it was still very bad. I was going through Calgary. I was on the Deerfoot with my dad, and yeah, this rainstorm to end all rainstorms, because it was like flooding bad on the road. But yeah, I could not exceed at parts about 40 kilometers an hour, which, for reference, that's about 25-ish miles an hour on a main highway. So that was a kind of a sketchy drive, I'm not gonna lie. You know, but I know the limits of my car and everything like that, so I was fine. However, there's a lot of people that'll be overconfident in conditions like that, drive too fast, crash their car, and just be a danger on the road.
Let's go.
So, you know. Yeah, being down in Florida doesn't shock me. Like, here, we don't get a lot of rain here as much. Like, I don't know. I live in a weird climate where typically don't get a ton of snow and typically don't get a ton of rain either. It also typically doesn't get god-awful cold, but typically doesn't get god-awful hot either. It's kind of in between everything. It's kind of nice. At least here in Sundre. Now, other places nearby that I frequent, they get those more extreme weathers.
Jonathan Week. I had heard you had made your way to our shores. Come along now. And certainly we have much to discuss.
But, yeah.
I must admit,
So, you know, and I've driven in all types of weather. You know, I've driven in blizzards. I've driven in, like, just about flooding rains like that. Really high winds, like, you know, take your pick.
Mr. Wick, you know where the word assassin comes from? People argue. Assassin. Assassin. Followers of Hassan.
Mm.
The hashish.
Yeah, oh, definitely. Yeah, heads will make a world of difference on that. Like, you couple that with the 4-barrel intake, and your low compression making maybe about 150, 160 horsepower, because it isn't a truck, so it makes a little more power than the cars, but not by much. You will close to double that when you're done.
Of course, it does not represent money.
Close.
It represents the commerce of relationships.
I mean, once you put like headers on it and a cam, it would for sure double your horsepower. With those heads too. It's incredible. Like my first car was almost a 1979 Mercury Cougar with a 302, and that's exactly what I was gonna do. I was gonna put headers on it, 4-barrel intake and carb, put a cam in it, and put some GT40 heads. That was gonna be it. Would have been a little bit of a sleeper that way. Still would have not been super fast, but would have been a lot faster than stock, and it would surprise some people, being as a big boat of a car that hauls along pretty decent, right? But I didn't end up buying that. I got my Mustang instead.
Does it shed a great deal?
Occasionally,
When I leave, you can tell the elder I'm coming. And if he wants me dead, he will see to it that you're bound.
Yeah, see, significant others won't always agree with what you're doing. That's for sure. I've been single for years, so never had that issue, really. You know? And if my dad disapproves, because I live with him, and it's just like, well, he never really voices his opinion if he does disapprove or not, so. He likes what I'm doing, though, so.
The elder is not the man you find. He can only choose to find you. You wish to speak with him? Go to the edge of the desert, look up. Anos Minor, the dog that followed Orion through the sky. You follow the brightest star. Walk until you are almost dead, then keep walking. When you are on your last breath, he will find you. Or he will not.
I am grateful.
thank you, sir.
I mean, to be honest, it's not a bad idea to get new lifters, but you probably wouldn't. Like,
He saw some contract.
yeah, I know, definitely, like,
You have received a great gift.
when it comes to making torque, yeah, inline sixes are definitely better than V8s for that. Like, my car is torquey. Has no horsepower, but it's got a decent amount of torque. Like, when the thing is, like, properly set up and running right and everything like that, I do want to put it on a dyno and see where exactly is it sitting. Because I know all the upgrades that I've done, I felt a difference every single time.
It's the least you can do.
No, you cannot keep my dog.
What do you mean? Oh,
Very well.
wait, you've got a 303 cam
Very well.
in it? Oh, 302, yeah.
And I will kill you.
Yeah, that's fine.
I'm sorry, Sophie. This was for you to learn.
Yeah, I mean, and I knew you had a 302, like, and, you know, 302s are fun. Great little engines. You know, and especially, like, the earlier blocks, too, are stronger blocks versus the later blocks. So. Oh.
Don't.
You shot my dog.
I get it.
We gotta go. Now.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure he knew that you had, you know, a V8 at the very least in your truck. So, because yeah, although I mean, if you had the 306, that's a pretty badass motor too. But, like the nice part about your small block anything, it's just the aftermarket is pretty good for them, typically. You know, so like your 302, you can do just about anything you want to it. Damn near. What's this? Okay, cool. That was just Turlo getting back to me. Yeah, so what's nice, because I'm not going to reveal what I'm doing to it yet, but I have a friend who has, kind of, Turlo, you're not wrong. Tonight, it hasn't been a bad stream, actually, you know, going for an hour and a half here, at the beginning it was a little slow, but now I have some people in here, so that's nice. Oh, definitely, yeah, Harvey, absolutely. It depends. Okay. Your torque curve on an inline six is better versus a stock V8. Now, if you want to compare, because okay, you've got a 383 stroker, that's a built V8. Of course, it's gonna be better. But if you take a stock 350 of similar vintage, the torque curve is better on an inline six, and inline sixes create more torque typically, a lot more torque than they do horsepower. Where V8s will be a lot closer with they'll produce a lot more horsepower, but then they'll create similar torque numbers. But it's how it delivers that torque with an inline six and how smooth it runs compared to a V8 that's what's special about inlines, right? And actually, like, one of the best engines, to be honest, for that is not necessarily an inline six, but an inline 8. Whenever you find those, and it's not very often that you do find them, but you know, because they haven't made an inline 8 since about 54, 53, 54, somewhere in there. Because I think Buick was the last company to make an inline 8. I think. So, and I think, yeah, that was 1953. Chrysler may have gone a little later than that. Maybe 54 for Chrysler. I can't remember for sure. Nice. Merry almost Christmas, JC Motive. I figured that'd be a nice title for it, because it's not really Christmas yet, and it's not like I'm going to do a Christmas Day live stream, most likely, because I'll probably be with family, so I won't get the chance to. So, yeah, it's just, you know, and right now, like, I don't know how many live streams I'm going to do in the next bit, so I figured, why not, you know? Do this one. But I definitely appreciate you all coming out to the live stream too. It's really nice to be able to get this interaction too. Because like most of the interactions that I get, especially in the wintertime, it's all online. You know? Don't really have many friends that I can just go see. So, any friends that I have to go like travel for the most part. And being that I'm usually broke, and now is definitely one of those times too. So, well, hey, to be honest, everybody just stumbles on my live streams, to be honest. Like, because I don't prompt my lives. Hey, no worries. Definitely appreciate it, and thank you so much. Yeah. Enjoy the rest of your evening, have a wonderful sleep, and yeah, we'll chat later. Because, yeah, basically, because what your money actually did, Turlo, is that you gave me, literally, that just went to a tank of gas in my car. I was, like, running on fumes, so definitely a help. Plus, it bought me dinner tonight, too, so. I have the new mount for my tripod coming through it, and it should be here on the 23rd. So, yeah. Did he drive that road in the summertime? No, I don't think so. I know, like, I drove his Pontiac on that road, but I don't think so. Well, it's definitely appreciated, Turlo. I really do appreciate it. A lot. Yeah. Because now he has visited with his Hudson down here. Once or twice with Hudson. It may have been the Pontiac. Like, I did a film... Like, I recorded some stuff driving the Pontiac down that road. Myself, on my channel. Because he let me drive it, and it was all fun. Drive in the dark? Yeah, okay, that was my Pontiac. Oh, that was his Pontiac, yes, and I was driving that. That video was on my channel. And yeah, whenever I can get... Because the problem is, this time of year, videos just slow down because
You're gonna die, John.
you can't really work on the cars.
When they're out here,
And also, it gets really,
somewhere else.
just because it's cold, I don't have a garage.
But you are gonna die.
And yeah, that sort of thing.
Consequences.
Yeah, so it's just one of those deals. Oh yeah, that's why I had like so many issues doing that here because it was cold when I was working on it, very cold. Ooh, I'm sorry to hear that, Turlo. That's rough. Yeah, that is very rough, and sorry to hear that. And concerning the vehicles in that video, only one of those are mine. The rest of them, I just have authority to sell the bulk of them, like I mentioned in the video. I wish I had a collection like that, but
There are still secrets.
yeah, because like there are some of the vehicles out there are the property owners, which his name is Greg. Some of the vehicles out there are also Jim's, which he lives out in Calgary. And I have authority to sell majority of the vehicles back there, but what's cool is that for the most part I can dictate prices, which is kind of nice. So yeah, that's what I have going on out there, and I've sold a lot of vehicles off that property. Quite a lot. Like I'm up to off of that property, I think I'm up to 28 or 29. So, you know, like, if you go... The thing is, on my channel, if you go down... I think I have actually an album called Junkyard Tours. And I have 2 of them from that property that I filmed. And you can watch those 2 videos to see without all the snow on them of the vehicles that are back there and the vehicles that used to be on the property too that I have since sold. Now, and the quality of those 2 videos aren't as good because I was recovering from my surgery after I did, especially the first one. So that's why I kind of redid it more and did a little better job of that, so...
Take a soothing Vicks Vapor moment wherever you choose.
Oh, okay.
Before I was diagnosed,
No worries, I understand that.
really to worry about. And then when I was diagnosed,
Like, yeah, and closed captioning doesn't always give you the most accurate thing, too, so I'll give you that, too. No, that's fine. I mean, I don't have an issue listening. Although, I do like, Roy's new camera is a lot better than it used to be, so I'm definitely very happy that he upgraded. Yeah, but I will agree at spots in the video the audio wasn't amazing, but because the thing is, all he had was the mic on the camera, which bigger mic, but just the mic on the camera, and none of us were wearing like wireless mics or anything, so a little harder to decipher that. So yeah, completely understandable. Yeah, but yeah, like, and I've done videos on a lot of the stuff out there too, not just the full walkarounds of the property, but like individual vehicles out there as well. On my channel, there's a bunch. Like there's a whole film series that I did on the Monaco that was out there. It was a 78 one-owner Monaco, great car, honestly. There was a whole film series on the Vandura, which I pulled out of the bush from that place, cleaned it all up, got it running, put new tires on it, and ended up selling that. Then yeah. The Lumina at the end that you can kind of see in the background there, that's mine. So, I don't have any cool cars out there. Like, don't get me wrong, Lumina is kind of cool, but it's not that cool. Like, it's a first-gen Lumina, it's a 91 Euro. We didn't really do a super walk-around of that on there. And it's just a car that I'm selling currently. It's not a keeper. We didn't make a deal yet on that, so I don't know. And it's kind of interesting when somebody expresses interest like that. It's like it makes you want it now too. So it might just end up being hung on my wall.
Okay. You made your point. You've earned my fealty. Matter of fact, I'm going to shove so much fealty up your ass it's going to come spilling out of your mouth.
You had your chance.
Well, since you see it that way, I guess it's time I told you to climb down off your high table and go yourself.
Duly noted. You gave John Wick 7 bullets. Your penance will be paid with 7 cuts.
Well, sometimes you got to cut them up.
Yeah, I love this movie.
The king.
Sorry, a little tired. Getting the sleep out of my eyes.
Long live the king.
Yeah, but yeah, and like, because right now I don't have anything planned to film right away here. I don't really know exactly what I'm going to be doing for the next little bit for videos, because the car is fixed. Although I say that, but then next week, like next weekend, I'm going to be headed up to, well, for one, and I might make this into a video, do like about a half-hour video or so of like cruising up a little bit and then take some pictures of the cars and stuff like that and keep on going. We'll see if I do that or not. Because there's a group I'm part of, a car group called No Boys Allowed. It's obviously women's only car group, fantastic time. Some of the members are meeting up in Red Deer, and it'll be a fantastic time. Gonna meet them there.
My son,
And then
how have you come to be so lost? Not lost. Looking for you. You think I speak of your location?
oh, well,
Never
honestly,
seen anyone find so hard to encounter.
okay, it's not that hard to do. Like, the thing is, when you're doing a proper walk around, like, especially something you really like, you can
So tell me,
do it
why did you
and just slow down a little bit and, follow the details of the vehicle, like if it's vehicles especially. or whatever it is. Follow the kind of curvature of it, whatnot, and like
So you
you
see
can watch.
the memory of love.
If you want good examples of how to do a walk around like that, go watch. Actually, I've got a bunch of walk around videos on my channel. There's a full playlist, so you can take any of those videos. My format is pretty much the same every time. I mention, okay, what is this vehicle? What details do I know about it? Show all the lines, go across it kind of slow, make sure that the footage is stable, and yeah, and everything I do is off of my phone. The footage is filmed on my phone. I do all the editing with when there is any editing, which is not very often. It's done on my phone, and I just have a tripod. That's it. Total spend on actual stuff for YouTube, I have a grand total of like $40 spent. It's nothing, right? Welcome back.
What must be done? The cost of your life will be the death of others. The first of which will be the man they call Winston. What? He has forgotten his fealty. Neither the open contract nor the excommunicado will be lifted until you complete your task. So if you wish to live, and if you wish to remember,
Yeah, well, there are people out there that'll spend a whack of money to do YouTube, but it's not necessary, you know. Well, hey, I definitely appreciate you coming by. Thank you so much. Hope to see you in future live streams, and yeah, Merry almost Christmas to you too. Hope you have a fantastic evening, and I'll catch you later. Um,
cast aside your weakness and reaffirm your fealty to the table.
but yeah, so yeah, like there are YouTubers out there that'll spend thousands of dollars on cameras and equipment and stuff, but it's not necessary. Like, I started out with just a phone that didn't have stabilization in it, so videos weren't as good. Um, and the tripod I have, because I have two tripods. One is my old tripod, which is nowhere near as nice as my new tripod. It's a smaller one. It's old, and I just put the top of a selfie stick on it. It's this little phone holder, right? That just screws in on the bottom, and there you go. And I just put my phone in, and start recording. But something to consider with that is, and something that I always try and do, whenever I'm filming a video, I turn the phone on airplane mode so that just in case if I get a phone call in the middle of doing that it doesn't disrupt my video. So, or any notifications for that matter on my phone, that it doesn't disrupt the video.
I wish you good luck.
So that's definitely a good way to do it.
Zaire will help you prepare for your departure.
Like, and the editing software that I use only cost me $30 a year, because I bought it on sale, and
Marhaba.
I can't do a ton on it, but I don't do a lot of editing on my channel. Like, a lot of my stuff is pretty raw. It's one take typically per video. It's great. Most people edit the crap out of their videos, and that's fine, but it's not my style. I like to do it simply. So, yeah, it's one of those deals. And like, as you film stuff, you will learn of what you like, what you dislike, and also you'll figure out how to do stuff as well when you're doing it. Because I've learned different filming styles of going along, because like my channel first started out without a tripod. Actually, I didn't think about it. It was actually my dad that gave me the idea. I don't have a mic, and yeah, it's great. Like, I do want to something I do want to invest in is a gimbal. It'd be really nice to have one, but not gonna be anytime soon that I do that. I got a credit card debt to pay off before I do that. But yeah, and hopefully, actually, because when it comes down to next weekend, because I'm going to be visiting a friend of mine, which has a really cool car collection. At least, hopefully, visiting him, and we might do some trades of parts. So Stitch might get a massive makeover very soon. So yeah, it should be really fun. Like and I haven't seen him in quite a long time. I actually traded him my Capri for his 86 convertible Mustang, which that's where I got Lilo. That used to be my car, but I have since sold her off. So yeah, although I do miss that car. I kind of wish I kept it, but no, Lumina's still around. Like, I wish the Lumina was sold, but hasn't yet. I've had one person look at it so far. One. Because, yeah, I could use the money off of that, because it would just go straight to paying off my credit card.
How was your trip? Going to the Continental? You? It was. Nice trick.
But yeah. So, and you know, there's other, he has some. I don't think he would sell them. Like, the thing is, he's not a proponent to selling that sort of stuff. Well, that's disappointing. For your phone camera. Yeah, that would make it difficult then if your camera is broken on your phone to, you know, record. Cause yeah, like with me, I'd have to find where he has them. They might be in the liquor cabinet, but I actually have to move a bunch of crap to get into the liquor cabinet. I know he's got a bunch of 8-tracks somewhere around here too, which would be great when we have the, you know, when the Civic's on the road and have the stereo hooked up, because that's an 8-track player in that. It'd be great, you know. You're playing some awesome 8-tracks going on the road. Like, that would be fantastic. Yeah, that'll happen, sadly. Yeah, but I'm not getting up to show you the records right now. There's a lot of stuff to move out of the way to try and open that to see if they're even in there. Because I think they're in there. Because I don't think... You know, those are... Yeah, they're not down there. Ah! Damn it. Didn't mean to do that. Cause yeah, and like, you know, and I don't have any records myself. I like records, but I don't have a record player. I don't have room for a record player, so you know, cause like the sound that a classic record player gives you is just so neat, and also having old speakers and stuff too. It's awesome. Tired. It's not even that late. Like, it's not even... It's just after 8 o'clock. If I remember to do so, and if I've moved the stuff from there, sure. But
Sir, put your weapon down.
He's excommunicado.
Unless you wish to become the same, I suggest you lower your gun.
I'd like to see the manager.
Of course. If you would be so kind as to follow me.
It was hard to believe. Yeah, that's what I came to.
How about if
oh, that's sad.
Without more than Michael?
I don't understand people just throwing out stuff like that. Like, why? It's like I can understand if the records were like damaged and not being able to be used, but
I will let you know you have arrived.
yeah, but there's a ton of people out there that
I gotta tell you,
just don't know.
I've been looking forward to meeting you for a long time. I'm a huge fan. John Wick. And so far, you haven't disappointed. Is that the dog? He likes you. Me? I'm more of a cat person myself. There you go. We're the same, you know. Both given the same gift.
We are the same.
Yes, we are.
No, we're not.
The manager is ready for you now, in the administrative lounge.
But I'm keeping that off of Stitch, like any stuff like that. I do appreciate it though, but like I love. Don't get me wrong, big fan of Pokemon and especially Pikachu and stuff like that. But that's not something that I'm interested in doing with my car. Like with mine, I'm keeping it to. There is one YouTuber aside from my stuff on my car, which is Roy Marco's Garage, and probably gonna keep it that way. Um, there's my QR codes currently on my car, and I have my Thrush and my Claysmith cams decals on the quarter windows, and that's it so far. I am gonna get my own logo made into a because I do have a logo for the channel, and I do want to put it on there, but it needs to be redesigned a little bit. It's not that higher quality, so I need to talk with some people on that.
Tread carefully, Jonathan. We only use this room on special occasions, when you simply have to see what your opponent is holding under the table. How was your journey here, eventful? Yeah, of course. I said meant to kill you.
My favorite classic rock band.
Isn't that why you're here?
I have served. I will be of service.
Oh, yeah, no worries, Harvey. I definitely appreciate it. And it's totally fine. Like I don't ask for donations from people. Like it's only if you can afford it, and if you want to as well. So
Put a bullet through my heart.
but I'm trying to think of my favorite classic band.
High table is asking
Because a lot of stuff I listen to is a little more modern. Like I love the classics, don't get me wrong, but
You should
um,
have killed me in the Continental. Maybe I should have. Rules and consequences. Seems like everyone is suffering from the consequences of their actions. And you're not taken down. No.
yeah, I'm trying to think of freaking classic bands that like my favorite classic band. Because there's so many, you know.
Skirmish.
I don't know. I don't even know what I want for Christmas, to be honest. Like, that's the thing. I never know what I want for Christmas every year. It's
No, I've made my choice.
just that way. Like,
You need to make yours.
I've asked my dad for stuff, but that's because that's stuff that I can get, like, you know, like,
You shoot me, you sell your
because
soul.
this year, if the Jimmy works out, he's just going to pay for it, and then that's going to be my entire Christmas gift.
Die as a servant of the high table.
I mean, I love those two bands, but I couldn't tell you who's my favorite classic
You only
band.
came back because Helen was taken away from you. The real question is, who do you wish to die as? The Baba Yaga? The last thing many men ever see, or as a man who loved and was loved by his wife? Who do you wish to die as, Jonathan?
Well, actually, Harvey, if you want to do that, like, for a decal, hey, no worries. Definitely appreciate you coming out, and yeah, I don't know. I mean, I would love my logo to be made into a decal for my car, at least like because I'd love to put it on both sides of the car. But other than that, I don't know.
Mr. Wick, it's a pleasure to meet you. I am an adjudicator. Have you decided to step down?
I think not.
And you? Will you be putting a bullet in his head?
No, I don't think I will.
Very well.
Let's see, classic bands, because I mean, I could just start listing off bands that I like that are classic. You know, like because I love the Rolling Stones, love the Beatles, love you know, Rush,
The Continental Hotel, New York.
love Aerosmith.
Deconsecrated.
You know, that sort of thing. Black Sabbath, of course, too. Led Zeppelin, all that different stuff. Nirvana's a great band too. But
The New York Continental Hotel.
to pick a favorite, I don't think I can.
The New York Continental Hotel has been deconsecrated. Goodbye.
The great thing about the app is we're going to get happy hour pricing on our drinks,
That's right.
no matter what time.
It's happy hour.
Yeah.
Every hour.
Well,
Definitely a great
anytime
song.
I see a discount, I'm going to go for it.
Right.
I don't care what it is. I have to have that.
Yeah.
And if the Leafs do not win that game against the Oilers, I'd be surprised, to be honest. Just because the Oilers don't have goaltending. Although, if they get Smith back, they might actually have some decent goaltending. Okay, let's just keep going
Kiwi.
on this.
Never met the
Gentlemen, this institution is now deconsecrated. Business may now be conducted on continental grounds. Since you are refusing
Oh,
to
do they
step
now?
down and you are refusing a direct order, your lives are
Because I mean, I know they're missing Marner, or is it Muzzin?
Removal of your souls from the property.
I can't remember for sure.
Good evening, gentlemen.
I do follow the Leafs a little bit. I'm not actually a fan of the Leafs, but you know, I do follow them.
This haven is safe no more. Our service is still off limits to me. Under the circumstances, your privileges are reinstated immediately. What do you need? Guns. Lots of guns.
Yeah, see now, Sandine, Spezza, and Marner are probably the ones that hurt the most, but Dermot and Mikheyev, they're not mainstays of like super amazing in your lineup, though. I don't think so.
Remember, sir, these will be high table forces. We may have to consider our choices carefully.
Why?
Much has changed during your time away.
Like what?
Well, let us say they have made permanent progress. May I suggest the 2011 Combat Master in combination with the 9mm Major?
It seems circumstances have changed in your favor. Your transaction may now be conducted on continental grounds. We'll be sending some of our finest for additional support.
Yeah. Oh yeah. That's not sustainable though. Like with Bruce Boudreau behind the bench, don't get me wrong, it's better. But and technically they only have an interim GM at the moment. And like I like to see that they're finally doing something, but because it was bad, very bad. You know, the fact that they were in the bottom half of the league and being like, you know, it was between Buffalo, them, Montreal, you know, that sort of thing. I was like, that's bad. And Arizona, right? In no particular order of worst teams, they are just listing them all of bad teams. I mean, and Arizona is bad on purpose. So you can tell. You look at their roster and go, who are any of you? None of you are really NHLers. So. But yeah, having Jeff Gorton now there, it's much better. And having, you know, Bruce Boudreau behind the bench again, way better for them. Like, you know, and I like watching, like, good hockey, too. When I can catch it, when it's not freaking, you know, regional blackout crap. And they really need to stop that. They're not protecting markets anymore. At all. They're just, you know, there's nothing to protect. All you're doing is alienating people, actually, from watching the sport. So. Man, it's bad for the Habs. But that's the Carey Price effect. Once Carey Price comes back, that team will be much better. But like they just barely squeaked into the playoffs last year. Yes, they went to the final, but that was a fairy tale run. Like just Cinderella story, you know? So, although I did peg when Montreal got to the final that they were going to win, but I didn't. So.
I know you will be confident. I'll see you soon, sir.
Oh, he ain't done yet. His numbers are still fantastic.
Do what you do better. What's that?
Like, don't get me wrong. Once Carey Price retires, they're screwed. Absolutely, they need to rebuild that roster entirely. They have no goaltending whatsoever. Because I'm sorry, Caden Primo and Montembeault are not they're not ready. And then you actually need like your lineup to be doing stuff like, and I know that losing Philip Deneau hurt them bad. Yeah, 34 is not even that bad. Really, nowadays. And I mean, look at his numbers. He's still a very stable goalie that gets good numbers. Yeah. Yeah, it's fine. To be honest. Look at Markstrom. Okay, Markstrom is 32. You know, Markstrom has fantastic numbers right now. Although, they're starting to decline a little bit, but overall, he's playing to what they signed him to last year. It's just last year he didn't really live up to that expectation, but this year he is. Yeah, no, I wouldn't be dissing on Carey Price. Because trust me, any team would be happy to have that guy behind the net. Because if you have Carey Price in net, and you hit the playoffs, oh, he will win you games that you would never have won with any other goalie. Like, Carey Price in the playoffs is better than Vasilevsky in the playoffs. I'll tell you that right off the bat. And yeah, and Bishop retired because of his knee issues, so. Mike Smith is 38. He's not 41. I believe he's 38. But yes, and Mike Smith is the oldest goalie in the NHL. Is he 39? Okay. I knew he was 38 or 39, so. But I knew he wasn't 40 yet. Well, there you go. Yeah, I don't know the ages of all the NHLers out there, but I know, like, some of them a decent amount. Yeah, he's up there, and this might be his last year. You know, I wouldn't be surprised if Chara retires after this year. But yeah, oh yeah. But what's cool is that, like, okay, yeah, he's not in the NHL anymore, Yager, but he's playing in the KHL for his own team. He owns the team, so it's pretty cool. I just wish that, it worked better with him in Calgary. You know, if they signed him earlier and got him a proper training camp, he'd probably still be in the NHL. Czech League, that's what it is, yeah. Not the KHL, sorry. Yeah, it's cool.
28 steel slugs. Armor piercing.
Hey Roy, how's it hanging? And yeah, when me and Old School are in here, it typically goes to hockey talk after all the automotive talk is done, and yeah, we have a good time. You know, it's interesting how hockey. There's no hockey games tonight because the Flames games got postponed due to COVID. So, you know, they've had a little bit of an outbreak on the team, which hopefully everybody's gonna be okay. But I mean, depending on like the thing is, me and Roy could have a conversation about cars all day long, and it wouldn't really deviate from that. You know, but we're both so knowledgeable on them that it's not hard to do that. However, yeah, it depends who I'm talking to. That way, you know, like, 'cause yeah, I can talk cars all day long. You know, and speaking of cars, like, yeah, because I haven't talked to Roy in a couple of days, pretty much since you know, you came down, which was a great visit. Honestly, that was a fun time. And it seems like quite a few. I got a few subscribers from your video there, so very happy to see that. I know you were, but yeah. Yeah, see, and I pretty much live and breathe cars in general. New cars, old cars, mostly old cars though, but I like some newer cars too. Like, you know, because yeah, I entered that contest to try and win a $70,000 voucher for a new car from Chrysler, which, you know, I don't think I'll win, but who knows? It's worth a shot. That's not, to be honest, I could do that. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I enjoy gambling, but I can't do like machines. I can only do like for that long. Like machines get really boring for me. But I can if it's like Texas Hold'em poker, I am super happy.
The best thing to order is
Yeah, I love me some Texas Hold'em, but I haven't played in a long time.
This was since we
But yeah, and obviously, you know, the Jimmy. I don't know what's going on with the Jimmy. I hope I can pick it up soon, but I don't know for sure. For the most part, you're not wrong. My dad actually has some decent luck in casinos, but more than most people, like for whatever reason, he's up quite a bit. With his tallies, but that's very, very rare. Usually, people lose their ass in casinos. But, you know, casinos aren't really my vibe. You know, like, because the one thing with Texas Hold'em, it's not just playing it, but it's the camaraderie you have too, which you don't get with a machine. And blackjack isn't my thing, so. Well, hey, it's not for everybody. Like, you know, I'll go every now and then, but it's very, very rare that I do. I mean, even if I had more money, would I go to the casino more often? Probably not. There we go. Get that remote on the couch. And that's fair. It's not for everybody. Yeah. Like, and you know, and something with my car is like if I don't plug it in, God, she's so unhappy and like doesn't really want to start at all. But yeah, like today it started up pretty good, but that's because it was plugged in. Because if I tried to leave it unplugged and do that, and nope, and the battery's fine, so that's nice. But and also like something that I really think I have to do, and is I think I have to put a new thermostat in the car because it's still running quite cold. And I think it's sticking open when it opens. So, because yeah, it's until I'm idling really that it starts to slow down, like to heat up again properly. So, but going on the road is just too cold. So, yeah. And it's a 195 thermostat in that car too, so it's not like it's a, you know. Yeah. I mean, that thermostat is 2 years old. It's possible that it's finally decided to say, no, I'm not going to work it properly. You know, it's worth changing out. It'll cost me a grand total of like $15, including the gasket to do, so no big deal. Take me all of about 10 minutes. Most of that is scraping off the old gasket. Because it's nice to access where it is. But we'll see. You know, when I do that though, yeah, try and contact a dealership for parts for an 81 Mustang. They don't even have listings for them, period. So, they don't stock parts like that. They don't stock any parts at a freaking dealership for my car. So, a little hard to get OEM stuff like that, to be honest, for my car. It's all aftermarket. Everything's aftermarket for my car. Because even, like, I'd love to find an OEM, like, I'd love to find an OEM heater core for my car. Because I think that would help a lot. Because these newer heater cores suck. Yeah, oh, exactly. Like, but I have asked the dealer for parts that I couldn't find anywhere else, and they couldn't even help me, so. And they hardly have any listings for it whatsoever. So, yeah, like, I just go through Napa, it's fine, you know. And again, that thermostat's 2 years old. You know, it happens. It's not exactly an expensive part. Not exactly upset that it's probably gone. See, that wouldn't shock me, to be honest. Dealers in general, at least the ones around here, typically don't go back that far at all. Like, most stuff is like to 85 or 86, so. Yeah, oh yeah, those hoses are new. Like, I've replaced those 2 hoses, so. And that heater core is a newer heater core that I put in. I've got another heater core lying around here, but I'd really love to find a copper core heater core. It costs more, but I don't care. If I have to spend $100... See, the heater core is not backwards because it only goes in one way. You can't flip it. Just because of how the how the pipes come out of it, you can't have that backwards. And the lines don't cross at the end either. So the lines are fine. It's not great heat, no. But I mean, well, actually, hang on. I can show you because I have one right here. I can show you the heater core that I have in my car because, again, I bought another one a while back. Give me a second here. Sorry, Saber. Can I move you just for a second? Okay, put that there. Grab my Kit Kat.
Obviously in pain.
Put him back on my lap.
Gonna beat all of my studies. If I didn't have to kill you, you'd be.
Yeah, because what I have is, well, you can see on the box there. You know, so it's a Pro Source. And this heater core from the factory has corrosion on it. It's not an up and down heater core, it's side by side, I'll show you. See, it's just like that. So, yeah, I mean, the hoses are on correctly. Like, the heater core doesn't go in like that. It goes in like that. So, and it's slightly offset here, too, so you can't just flip it, sadly. So the heater core's in the right way. The hoses are on correctly. Because I almost want to say it's the heater core in the car. Like, and I might just replace the heater core again. Because I have this one lying around, so. This one's brand new in the box, right? And like, and also if you look too, the hoses are different sizes on those, right? So, you know, it's a much bigger fitting here versus here. So yeah, like the hoses are even different sizes too, so you can't mix those up from each other. Yeah, they really make this kind of idiot-proof that way. Yeah, mine just really doesn't. I mean, like, you sat in my car and you felt like it doesn't really give off that much heat. So, I don't know. But actually, this might be copper, come to think of it, being that color. For some reason, I thought this wasn't copper. I mean, maybe. No, the heater core isn't leaking. I replaced it, so it wasn't leaking. And there are 0 coolant leaks right now. And the system is all topped up, so... Yeah, I could swap the hoses on the engine side and see, you know, what happens there. Because the fittings on the engine side are the same, it's just on this side they're not. So, yeah. Because this is the exact same one that I have inside the car. It's no different. Because this one, again, this was Rock Auto, but same exact part number and everything that the Napa gives, and it's like $30 cheaper from Rock Auto, so. Excuse me. And then plus also this one, like,
My name is
and the reason why I didn't just throw this one in the car
Communications at the National Center for
is because there are, or at least I thought I saw when I got this thing. Yeah, it's starting to already get some corrosion actually on the fins. And some of these fins are actually kind of bent too, so wouldn't be a bad idea to get a screwdriver in here.
And hopefully motivate people to search for that child. It just
Yeah, oh yeah, definitely not. I don't know why I didn't think this was copper before,
one person making that call.
but
We've
just being dumb.
enforcement with the recovery
Because I'm assuming because of the fins would be my guess is the reason why I didn't think it was copper.
missing children.
But
We have seen children come home after 1 year, 10 years, 20 years. We want
they have an electric heater.
There's a reason to keep
No different than,
because
think of a space heater in your home, same idea.
For more voices impacting our culture and their communities.
Oh, I'm actually live on TV, look at that. What a concept.
Voices magnified.
So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at on that. And yeah, it might just be swapping those and seeing what happens.
We're finding a show.
Because yeah, it definitely has heat, it's just not great heat.
Virgin River. Search for shows anywhere with just your voice. Across live TV and all streaming apps. Hey, you see my glasses? They're here somewhere. Car.
Which, I don't know, will I? I'd have to look at weather over the next bit to see if I'm going to have any nicer days, because maybe I'll end up swapping those and seeing what it'll do, because I just don't want to do it out in the cold, that's all. Or at least when it's god-awful cold. And it's not supposed to be nice for a bit, so. But I do also have to get the window sills changed out in my car, and I just don't want to do it. I don't have them yet, but because my dad did not want to spend the money on them, because I asked for those for Christmas, and he's just like, oh, let's hold off on that. Like, so it's just like, fine. But that's something that badly needs to be done in my car, is those window sills. They're horrible. But I mean, also, to be honest, I just need 2 new doors in general on that car, so that's kind of the annoying part. But if
We need your support more than ever this season.
if yeah, it happens that way,
So please call this
because
or visit
yeah, like if I could find 2 good doors for that thing, it'd be really nice. Because like the window track is bent
to help rescue animals.
on the driver's side, and you especially notice it when it's cold. It's so much harder to roll up that window back up again, and roll it down for that matter. Plus also it doesn't, like, when you roll it back up, it's off the track a little bit, and you have to go back down, back up again. Cause stupid guy that unbent my door after it was bent, yeah, he unbent it with the window up, so it bent the track. Like, if he rolled down the window, it would have been fine.
This holiday season to help them. Go online or call now.
Um,
Join our fight to rescue.
See, and I wouldn't know, to be honest, of like how bad that is with the electric cars, because again, I haven't experienced an electric car. I haven't seen what their tendencies are, so I'd assume that yeah, the heater would, but you never know. But I'm not a proponent of battery electric cars. I'm a proponent of electric cars, but not the battery ones. You know, if you do a hydrogen with electric, that's the way to go. You know, have hydrogen fuel cells create electricity to power an electric motor would be fantastic. Well, no, definitely not. But how inefficient it would be, I don't know. That's what I'm getting at. Wait, you had a Volt? I wouldn't have thought you would have had a Volt.
It's the season of giving, and your monthly donation could be the greatest gift you give.
Yeah, and the Volt was actually the proper full electric car, because it was the Bolt was the hybrid, right? I think.
Yes, I hear you. Uh-oh.
Well, I mean, he also doesn't have that Volt anymore either. So, and yeah, I couldn't. Again, quality and stuff like that, or anything about the electric cars, haven't a clue. Wow, that just blows my mind that you had one of those. Just doesn't seem like your thing. What, did you get it in lieu of payment or something? I'm joking. If you did buy it, that's totally fine. Oh, okay. Yeah, okay.
Suggest a parlay.
A parlay would be good.
Very well.
How do we
Uh,
do this?
There is longevity to electric cars, actually. That is a misnomer. Um, Electric cars, the thing is, it's the, like I mentioned, battery electric cars, they're horrible. They're terrible. You know, not only their environmental impact, but as well as replacements and stuff like that, it's just not the way to go. That's why I've always been a proponent of hydrogen fuel cells powering an electric motor, which you can. You can have the hydrogen fuel cell create electricity to actually power the electric motor, and it's an infinitely renewable source, and it's great, right? And that's going to be the future. Watch. People are going to realize, and governments are going to realize and everything, that battery electric's terrible, so yeah.
No, about me, John. You gotta catch my breath.
That's just, yeah, I hate that sort of stuff. Like cars that are online like that, just ugh.
No, you won't.
Okay, no, old school. That's not. No, you couldn't be any further from the truth on that.
You gentlemen, of course,
'Cause
realize that was the first.
You know what happens when you pierce a
We can keep this
hydrogen
as long
cell?
as you'd like, but it only ends one
Like
way.
any container that contains hydrogen, all it does is expel very quickly. It can be explosive, but the thing is, if you penetrate it, it's not actually going to really explode. It's just going to evaporate out very quickly.
We are high
Because everybody will think, oh, well, look at the Hindenburg. Well, the problem with the Hindenburg was not the hydrogen, that was the thermite. The thermite's what caught on fire. The hydrogen didn't help, but hydrogen's actually much more stable than people think it is. Much more stable.
Parlay. Parlay.
What do you propose we do?
Yeah, old school, I promise you, there's nothing wrong with a hydrogen fuel cell car for safety. It's no worse than a gasoline vehicle that way.
And been a beacon of order and stability to our industry for over 40 years.
I would trust a hydrogen vehicle over a nitrous car.
And repledge my fealty to the high table.
I mean, propane is fine too, but the thing is,
We were merely showing
propane
so we would
is not as efficient as hydrogen is. And hydrogen you can harness from anything. Literally anything.
your fealty.
So,
But what about him? What are we going to do about John Wick?
Veronica is back in the environment.
Oh, he has to die. Sorry, Jonathan. Don't the other way.
Very well, gentlemen. The Continental will now be reconsecrated. Good day to you both.
What played, sir?
Yeah, see, that's fair.
How long do you estimate until you'll be open?
There should be no child at all.
I've never heard of propane being used in lieu of
Tragedy.
refrigerant.
Misunderstand. I mean that he is no longer on the street.
Seems improbable.
And yet, true. I trust you understand the repercussions if he survives both from above and below. The last thing either one of us needs is Mr. Whip paying us a visit in the night. For both our sakes, I hope you see to it that this situation is taken care of, yes?
Absolutely. How far can he get?
Interesting.
Probably
Yeah, oh yeah, we learn new stuff all the time.
How you doing, John? You look as bad as I feel. John. Raise a hand if you can hear me, John. Good. You took a finger. Don't tell a bitch. John. Rick. So, the old boy keeps his hotel and you take the fall. Can't say I blame him. I've done the same thing if I was in his shoes. Like this high table. 7 cuts. On every table is where it gets done. And they about to find out if you cut the king, you better cut him to the quick.
Yeah, I didn't even know about using propane for that, so that's interesting. I've never refilled the air conditioning though myself. Mind you, I've only ever had one vehicle with air conditioning, and I never got to use it. So that was my convertible. She had air conditioning, and it was retrofitted to R134. But I never got recharged, and the motor crapped out on me. So. Like, and yeah, and I should have just gotten... Because I had an engine for that car that I could have modified to make it work. Basically get an adapter plate made and put it on that block. Put my intake, put all my accessories on it, you know. But never did, so... And then, seeing it's too bad as well, like... Because there was... so many opportunities to have that car be much better than it was, and I just never took the opportunity to do it. Because I had this engine out of brand new, you know, fully rebuilt type idea, like from the factory, from a factory that it still had like the plastic over top of it to say where it was rebuilt at. And, yeah, that thing, I didn't know the specs of the motor, though, but I had, in my graphs, before I had that car really, or wanted to do anything with that 3.8. Had so many parts for a 3.8. Like, the parts car that I had here, that 83, had a carbureted 2-barrel on it. Just like, oh, perfect. I would have taken that. Had I known I was going to get this convertible, would have taken that intake off. Get a new carburetor for it. Put that on Lilo. And had the thing run on way better than that CFI bullcrap. I had that. I had 2 sets of headers for that car. And they were like nice headers too. What else did I have? I mean, well, that's basically it, but still. And like, and the motor was for actually a front-wheel drive application, so would have been out of a oh, the van. I can't think of what it's called. Windstar. There we go. But sadly, didn't happen. So, yeah, and it just never did it. And I should have. But, oh well. Shit happens.
That's perfect. We don't want the truth to us. Yeah, just us in the Humvee up by this crazy river path.
Make the most of the bank. We three kings be stealing the gold. But it's all that fortune, I must make amends.
You done seen? What's my mind? You're just left on me in a second. Just look at the road. What do you have? No, it's easy to slip by in the road.
How would we have a lot to carry?
That Meraki truck. What a truck. Stop. You want to see the cat?
Not really, no.
It'll be gone. Before lunch, no big deal. Did I do my thing?
Yeah, horror movies aren't really my thing.
Always a guy to do it. I want you to get this recorder off my back. You know who Adriana Cruz is?
Report on the
That's right. You can tell her that I've gone ahead and checked out the story and you're going to
You know what?
If you're a fake cop of this man, then take her on a ride that lasts all morning because nowhere near the villages outside of Karbala. When you don't find me, it'll be because you got lost. Is that clear?
Yes.
Any other questions?
Yeah, it's true that the big special forces got cut off in the day.
You ready to control me?
Yes, sir.
My favorite genre of movies, to be honest, is more like of those action-adventure type movies. Like, put it this way. Some of my favorite movies of all time is, like, the John Wick series of movies. Like, the Lord of the Rings movies. I love Top Gun. You know, A Knight's Tale, that sort of thing. That's fair. Yeah, I mean, and don't get me wrong, I love comedy movies too, but that's a great movie too. Love that movie.
What was that?
I read football C4, sir.
Why would you do that?
And so we can fire some rounds and far enough away from the cat.
I said that you could fire a few rounds.
You can get to see any action, sir.
You want to see some action?
Yeah, I do, sir.
what you're after? We dropped a lot of bombs out here. Also buried a lot of guys alive.
All we seen was on CNN, except for that dude shot.
Shot him in the neck, didn't you?
That's right, sir.
Fucking badass, I was there. Fucking took him out of 400 yards. Head popped up 3 feet in the air. Crazy shot, man.
Don't say that. You know anything about gunshot wounds?
I don't know.
Specifically. The worst thing about a gunshot wound.
Hey, no worries. Catch you around. Yeah, and I mean, thinking about ending the live stream pretty soon here, so.
Creates a cavity in the dead tissue. That cavity, it fills up with bile, bacteria. Fuck. We're gonna do this without firing any shots, and just to be sure, we're gonna do a dry run. Get your suits on.
We will say that the cow is the primary guard.
Because yeah, nobody else is chatting currently.
Stop short, very aggressive. Got it? Got it! Go!
Yeah, I'd like to. Believe me. Love to have that thing on the road. Not that I'd be driving it in the winter very soon. I'd have to fix those rockers before I drove it in the winter. Because otherwise it would just, like, disintegrate.
Who's hurt? Call Cal. Yeah, call Cal.
Kaboom! Y'all see that cow's head shoot up? Like a cartoon. Fucking crazy.
Said Sarah what mine?
But in the mine, there's a cluster bomb. Very hard to see. Get the Humvee, we're moving on.
Get around, get around.
Yeah. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Yeah, I'll probably end up actually just ending this here. I'm getting a little tired, and yeah, not really much action in the chat anymore. But hey, went on for almost 3 hours, so it's been a while since I've had a long stream like this. So yeah, for those of you that hung around to the end, I definitely appreciate you. Thank you so much. Hope you all have fantastic evenings, a wonderful sleep, and yeah, catch you later.